Hey, everybody. To this point, I've been speaking about us as individuals. The little model I was using is that there's God, there's us, there's a relationship, there's suffering. Those are the four players. And all of this is wrapped up in story and narrative, that we don't know God as an abstraction, we don't know ourselves as an abstraction, and we don't know this relationship as an abstraction, but rather it's all embedded in history. And I've been thinking, talking about us as individuals in our personal language in the presence of God. And my reason for doing that was so that we might feel some personal investment in this notion of lament, sort of get some skin in this lament game, as it were. But I have to tell you that that way of talking about lament is a deceit. It's a deceit of simplicity. It simplifies things to talk about my anguish in the presence of God, when in fact, lament is always communal. And I'll try to lay out some of that. I mean, at the most basic level, it can't be anything but communal. I mean, we are communal before we are individual. We're born into a community called a family, both of our own, but also into this larger thing. I don't like this term, but we'll just use it for simplicity, into the human family as well. We become ourselves by being born out of relationship, mom and dad, and born into relationship, into our immediate family, our extended families. We were born out of the quiet womb and into this bumping, buzzing thing called a village, a town, a city, a state, a nation, a world. We are also baptized into a divine community, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and into this perichoresis, to borrow a term from the church fathers, this eternal dance between Father, Son, and Holy Spirit that is marked by preferring the other over oneself and being preferred and served by the other. We are born into a community called church, and we are part of a community before God, before we are individuals before God. But then I'm not ever sure that we are ever purely lone individuals before God, because we not only have a community outside of ourselves, that community indwells us as well. We carry each other within us. We're not simply people. We are a people. More specifically, we are the people. This is what Peter wrote to those former pagans in Asia Minor. And there may have been some Jews in there as well. You are a chosen people. He's drawing these terms from the Old Testament. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that y'all, I like that because it's plural, that y'all may declare the praises of him who called y'all out of the darkness into his wonderful light. Once you were not a people, but now you are the people of God. Once you had not received mercy, y'all had not received mercy, but now y'all have received mercy. That's 1 Peter 2:9-10. Who I am as an individual and who you are as an individual is inseparable from our memberships in this particular community with its identity and its purposes. Peter is drawing from the Exodus narrative in that, and Israel is a perfect example of the kind of community, so it's no small wonder that he drew from this. In writing those words, he's drawing upon that particular story, and Israel was in Egypt as a kind of a nation, but not exactly a people, until God established covenant with them at Mount Sinai. And he called them out of darkness. He called them out of Egypt into his wonderful light, into relationship, a covenant relationship with him. They were delivered from one space to another space. He called them out of slavery to become proclaimers of God's power and might. They were delivered from the futility of being slaves and delivered to a purposeful mission that was aimed toward the new heavens and the new earth, ultimately. He made of them a people through covenant. They were once a body of slaves, but now they were officially a chosen people, a royal priesthood who stand before God and the rest of creation, a holy nation, a people of God's own possession. Once they were not a people, now they are the people of God. So the Jew knows himself or herself, whether he or she actually believes in God or not, as a part of the people. The people are in the person, and the person is in the people. I said that because I met a Jewish man one time who said to me he was not a believer, and I asked him about that, and he said, I don't have to believe, I'm a part of the people. And so whether that's right or wrong, his identity as a part of the chosen people of God was sufficient as far as he was concerned. We can only truly know ourselves when we know ourselves in terms of a people chosen of God. And the question I have, even for myself and for you as well, is do I think of myself as that way? Do I think of my community, my church, our churches together as the elect people of God? As First Peter begins, the elect people of God, the diaspora in Asia Minor. The diaspora is seeds scattered about. We are certainly not Israel, but we are not Israel as well. So our voice of praise, our anguished voice, rather our grateful voice of praise, is our voice, but it is always caught up in a chorus of praise. And our lament, the wail of our suffering, is picked up by innumerable saints across time, space, and matter. We're all caught up, even when we lament, even when we are feeling such loneliness, as if we are utterly suffering alone. We're always caught up in the sufferings of Christ, in the sufferings of the church across generations. Our voice is the voice of the all, and the voice of the all is our voice. Now I'm going to pick up on that, and this is going to get weird, but I think it'll expand your mind a little bit. All right, I'll see you. Bye.